we said that we will continue pretty much from where we left last week. We discussed tiny bit the importance and ideas of squares, especially we have seen for people that remember, oh, well, there was one very nice game at the beginning that black was just moving around with his knight, but not really doing anything wrong to his position. White was just pushing pawns, and by pushing, creating some weaknesses. That was one example of squares. We've seen some idea about activating pieces. There was one great game that black played c5, refreshing the memory, to make a bishop on d7 looks much prettier. Okay. We have a game here between Kramnik. Okay, we have to give at least one example. He's going to start tomorrow, play the final of the World Cup, playing against Andrekin. So one example in his honor. Well, he's still alive, but you know, before the tournament. So Kramnik played this against Wely. And quite interesting position here. White seems to have quite a lot more space in the center. And black bishop on b7 looks somewhat blocked. This bishop, well. But on the other hand, maybe at some point black would like to play f6, kick the white knight away. Then maybe at some point find a way, or maybe c5 when it will be on black terms, or anything like this. This is one question in this position. Another one, let me take back, is what to do with this bishop on b2. Because the bishop it looks like the diagonal is very available in some situations, but what exactly and how to get something done with the bishop? This is exactly the question that Kramnik had to ask himself. The bishop looks blocked. It looks like it has great potential, but how to get something done with this bishop? So I'll give you a few minutes, or you know, and whenever you get any idea, well, what to do with the bishop on b2, how to get it to life. Let's see, slowly. A3, okay. A3, I will play bishop back. What can I do? Bishop c3. And then what is your plan? Okay, so very similar idea like in the French, right? Some ideas. Okay, but maybe I will play f6 here. Yeah, and then maybe I can even think about playing c5. First of all, I can think about taking this pawn. I'm not usually that excited about, actually, yeah, maybe c5, I will take on c5, you'll take, yeah, I cannot play this. This line is not working. c5, take here. Yeah, I mean some pawns, but not enough. Agree. So I cannot take this one. Maybe I will play c5 myself now. Okay, I want to give this one some life. I mean, it's possible to think that way. Kramnik already had several games with this idea. He had several games playing the idea that he just played right now. Kramnik played c5 immediately. The bishop on b4 is obviously a target, right? I mean, a3 and b4 trapping the bishop. Black has to take. If not a3, just winning. a3, and now take. So, by a super duper forced way, he managed to open the bishop. Remember, I think we mentioned it a little bit, and if it wasn't in that class, then I definitely mentioned, and we'll mention it now. You know, in one of the discussions that I had doing commentary on ICC, I was discussing with Grandmaster Yarmolinsky, we spoke tiny bit about positional chess. And obviously one of the greatest positional players of all time is Capablanca. There are many, but Capablanca is definitely one of the greatest. And one of the things that was said in that discussion was that great positional players, they see how to improve their pieces using small tactical idea, small forcing moves. Basically the idea that, oh, the bishop now is trapped on a5, before it was in trouble on b4, allowed white to achieve actually a strategical, you know, this, we are here for strategical ideas, but this strategical idea of opening the bishop, the diagonal, came from, well, a tactical one, that the bishop on b4 is in trouble. Queen capture, b4. Okay, what should black play here? Queen b5. Only move, right? Because if queen c2, what white is going to play? What do we play after this move? Attacking the bishop. Simple move. Rook f2 is going to win. And what are we going to play after queen b6? There's something even a bit better, I think. Knight c4, right? We're just going to... Yeah, queen b6, just knight c4. Okay. Let's see tiny bit more what was Kramnik's idea. I mean, how the game continued. The idea is obvious. He managed to open this diagonal for the price of a pawn. But what now? This is actually a good topic to speak about. Which move should we consider with white here? G4, but why G4? For what? Okay, but G4. Let's say you will play this move. Okay, the opponent's gonna play also. Maybe this move. Which move? Knight G6. Okay, I'll go here maybe. I might have some of... Yeah, I mean, when I looked at this position, I'm thinking about one thing. You know, this is very important idea to have in our head. Very, very simple. Whether you are a beginner, advanced, master, grandmaster, world champion. This is just super basic to see. Look at the king. Look at the square around the king. How many black pieces are in this square? Huh? Pieces. 0 pieces. 0 pieces. 0. 0 pieces. So who is going to protect the king if there will be an attack over there? No one. No one. No one will defend the king. Or maybe the rook, but yes, he's not there. So when such situations happen, and it happens many times in games, suddenly there are 2-3 pieces attacking. Here. The queen might be aiming towards the king. The bishop all the way from the other side. The knight, white's knight, is almost there. Well, maybe we can play, like my first instinct in this position is to play f5. That's my first instinct. Right, wrong, I don't know. I mean, actually, Kramnik didn't play this. Kramnik played queen g3, but in an analysis here by some grandmaster, they mentioned that this is the best move. just logically, okay, Kramnik won the game in a great style, and where we are not implying anything, but just logically, I want to get also the rook in the attack. How black is going to defend with the rook on a8, the bishop on a5, the queen on b5? That would be logically, I think, a very good way. We don't need to calculate a lot. Just see that Kramnik had something very similar in the game. Yeah, and finally he's taking the material is equal, but black king is completely destroyed. f6 is coming next, the pawn is going to move forward, taking the g7 pawn, and where are black defenders? Which one? This one is a good defender, this one, no defenders. Kramnik played not that far away. Here, okay, he won beautifully by a tactical idea. So this bishop that he opened, you know, what was the big strategic idea? How to get this bishop in the game. So how does black dark squares around the king looks like? Exactly. Exactly. They look great if you are white. They look great if you are white. Everything along the dark squares, because black is completely toast there. h5. If king g8, what we play? Which one? Queen f6. Now, what should we play here? Yeah, I mean, as long as the first instinct, and you know, I hope that Kramnik didn't play bishop take rook. I feel like such an idiot. But as long as our first instinct is knight f6, queen f6 something, because the bishop is much, much more powerful than the rook. Okay, thank goodness. So you just want to cut, you know, knight f6, and then the king is just dead there. Okay, apparently he played the strongest move because Wely just had enough. Knight f6 will come, and it's checkmate in few moves. Queen f6, queen h8. But it all started where? You know, look at this bishop. This bishop that won the game for us. The bishop on b2 that went to e5, that opened the diagonal. It all started with this move that is forcing black to capture and opening the diagonal for white. Okay, this was one example. This one I think is not just very powerful example, but also, in my view, quite logical one, but a beautiful one. Alexander Unishuk, that for many, many years, well, annoyingly for him, has been, I think, player number 3 in United States, right? He has to fight with Nakamura and Kamsky. Now he's still, like, I guess, player number 3, 4, together with my close friend Timo, that is now playing for the United States team. But been there for a long time, won the US Championship, now great coach of the Texas Tech University. Play here against Gregory Kaidanov, one of the most notable American grandmasters in the last 20 years, and actually quite also notable for being somewhere in the middle, early 2000, one of the very strong players in the United States that never ever won the US Championship. So he played like many, almost a bit less than 20 times, and many times he was one of the favorites, but never got to win it. But they're playing here in a US Championship. If I'm not mistaken, the last US Championship before it moved to St. Louis, and it doesn't seem like it's going to move away anytime soon. So that was the one in 2008. What can you tell me about this position? You tell me. No, I speak all the time. Now I'm going to be quiet, and you're going to tell me. Black is a lead in development. Well, yeah, white has this spectacular development here. Okay, excellent. He has this development and this beautiful piece. We'll highlight it. Okay, what else? White has a beautiful pawn structure. You know, we say double pawns can be good or bad. Double isolated pawns are usually really bad, but now I have something double isolated pawns. You have two sets of isolated pawns. That's something remarkable. Okay, so it would be logical to think that white is in big trouble here. He's not getting checkmated, but positionally is in great trouble. Only one thing is working for white. What is one thing that we can say working for white? More. No, very basic, very basic.
It's got the E5.
More basic than that. More basic.
He's ahead a lot.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus 6 is 1 pawn ahead. Yeah. So he has a pawn. You know, he has a pawn. Yeah, you know, the ugliest pawn structure seen, or one of the ugliest pawn structures seen, but he is ahead a pawn. So white. So if you have to describe the position to someone, you know, always think about it. What would you say? Say, okay, white is ahead by a pawn, right? In our list of looking at the position. Material, white's ahead of pawn. Space, white has nothing. Pieces activity, white's horrible. Pawn structure, horrible. And even I can see that white king can get in some trouble. So white has one thing working for him. He's up a pawn. Bad structure, no pieces, no space, weak king. Okay, black is by far ahead. But what to play? I mean, we can play simply whatever. You know, for example, this move, happy move. Okay, defending the pawn. Everyone's happy. Then rook to d8 attacking the d3 pawn. Bishop a6 attacking the pawn. Okay, black will be happy. There's a stronger move, and even if you had seen while I was moving it back and forth what's the move, you will still need to explain to me why and what's the idea. What to play? Any ideas, thoughts? Bishop, okay, same idea as f6, no problem. Same idea as f6, it's okay. Bishop f4, maybe I will play b4. Just the thinking, I want to play fast if I'm white. I will now attack the pawn again. That's why f6 was a bit better, because f6 you're really defending the pawn, right? You don't need to, maybe you will defend it. I will develop. Yeah, somehow doesn't matter how we look at the position. Okay, this pawn is hanging. It's ugly for white. But black is better. Doesn't matter what. We totally agree. Maybe I should play something else other than knight here, but agree. But I think there's something else. The question is this. Does black want to play slow or fast here? I mean, black can play slow. He can play f6, get his pieces, he is better. Sometimes it's the right approach. But in such position where we see how beautiful white pieces are, where his king is weak, where the pawn structure is so horrible, playing with no pieces, weak king, I think black would like to play fast. That's what Unishuk did here. Unishuk played c5. What is the idea of this move? Not just prevent before. Before I played b4 because I know what Unishuk played. I want to prevent c5. but b4 is preventing c5. No. Which piece of black will cause most damage for white? That knight on a5, only not on a5. Put the knight on d4. Put the knight here. And white is resigning. Not allowing white to play b4, that's correct. Because if no b4, the bishop on c1 is trapped. The knight is heading to c6. Look, what to do? White took. Okay, so now can say he's up 3 pawns. Because he's up 3 pawns. But remember, we mentioned the king and we mentioned the pieces development. Strategically, this is the part that you want to think about. How can I play the fastest I can? Let's see what's going to be the result if I play fast. I know if I play f6, black is better. I know that. But what to play now? Knight c3. Now which move will we play? Bishop h3 looks like the most logical move to me as well. I'm not certain if that's what he played. He first took. Okay, why took? Because if king to g2, knight e1, and then take on d3 as well. So he's starting to collect all the pawns. By the way, I think the bishop h3 is extremely logical move. I'm not even totally certain why he didn't play that. Just wondering, okay, we'll ask Mr. Houdini for a second. What will you play? Okay, rook e8 he wants to play. And then yeah, and then bishop h3. Rook e8 and then bishop h3. So not far away from our ideas. Yeah, +1.5. Yeah, so you're down 3 pawns and you are this. Why, by the way, what about this move? Yeah, okay. This move is as good as the move played in the game. 0-6, 0-7. Why he likes first rook e8? Actually tricky, because now b3 can be played, and after rook e8, the bishop moves. In the other line, okay, 0-7. So our move bishop h3 was at least as good as the move played in the game, maybe even more. But rook e8 is even stronger because the bishop cannot move and connect the rook. Okay, Unishuk just went for the pawns. Okay, black, I guess white's going to lose some pawns. Probably not the piece, but he's going to lose some pawns. b4, take. Yeah, just very cool g6. He wants to play a5. This was only move with idea of rook b3, defending d2. Okay, so black has collected all the pawns, +1. So black has taken 4 extra pawns in the last 10 moves. And okay, went on in a very whatever cool way that Unishuk plays those positions always so strong and won this endgame. But the key part was understanding which piece he wants to activate. Which piece he wants to activate. It was the knight on a5. Kramnik in the previous game said he wants to activate the bishop. So this is one thing. Activating pieces, doing it in, well, pawns were not important here. No development, that's what he wanted to do. This is not an easy position, not at all. And I will give you a tiny bit to think after we will speak a bit. This is in the book, and the excellent book by Jacob Aggard. He mentions something that looks quite elementary, but still, not every time, definitely not easy always to think and not connect. And this one is not one of the easiest positions. He's saying that in every position, when we are speaking about pieces, and that's what we are speaking, well, how to make this piece better, how to, Unishuk got his knight back to the game, Kramnik opened his bishop. In the previous example, exchanging was the big piece play. So we are speaking about playing with pieces. He's mentioning that we always have to see which pieces are defended, not defended, which pieces can potentially come under attack. This is very important. You know, John Nunn, in a tactical idea, once mentioned this LPDO, right? LPDO, if I'm not mistaken. Does anyone know what it means?
Loose pieces drop off.
Loose pieces drop off, yes. It was John Nunn that was a top 10 player in the world for quite some time, but world problem-solving chess champion, genius, like math, too smart, computer, like, you know, whatever you want. It's really a great one. He wrote some of the most amazing books. I remember as a young kid, like really studying probably most from his book or a lot of him. So, you know, he has a warm spot in my heart for Dr. John Nunn. And loose pieces drop off, meaning at some point, you know, this knight is on the king side, not defended, this bishop on the queen side, you know, keep it like this for a long time, there will be some double attack and you will have to say bye-bye to one of them. That's what it means, loose pieces drop off. At some point, You have to see what's defended, what not. Now this one is a completely different level of ideas. But still, I will give you tiny hint, and that's it. The rook on e1 is not defended. Potentially the rook on e8 can speak to it. Somehow they can communicate. Far but possible. Huh? Rook e2? Yeah. It's an excellent move, but it's black to play. Okay. He played rook takes b3 on the board on the screen here. 2 moves in one, too much. Okay, this is one thing. So the rook on e1 is 1. Whenever you see a queen on the same file as a rook, maybe something. In the game, Gangli, which is one of Anand's main seconds for quite some time. I mean, I pretty much assume that in India he's also going to be there, so we're going to see here him. Strong grandmaster by himself. He took, and actually white got some advantage. The game finished in a draw. But how to exploit all these, topic things, whatever we were just mentioning here? Is it possible? How? Why? That's a big, big piece play here. Take on d4 and play f5. Yes and no. Let's say take. I will take, and you play f5, and I will probably have to play something smart somehow. No, not certain exactly what, where, how. What will I play here? Maybe I will play e5. Maybe e5. I can move the queen also, but then... Oh, I will move the queen. Okay, I'll just move the queen. Let me move the queen here. Better. Because I thought for a second you have f4, f3 weakening the structure, but I have this rook that is very... Yeah, so I just move my queen. So this not impress me. But take on e3 was played, and not very happy for black. I mean, he actually got a bit worse position here. Look at his beautiful, beautiful knight. Very, very pretty knight over there. Okay, and he found him, suddenly white is very happy here. So this is our critical position. I didn't say it's easy, I also said that I think you should think more. Yeah?
Try f5.
f5, and what's your idea with f5?
I'm going to push it again and get a fork those 2 pieces.
So you want to play f4, but there are many, many captures here. So first, if I take on e5, you will play f4. You'll be happy. What happens if I play e take f5?
I'm bring the rook take f5.
There's a knight on g3.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Back to the drawing board.
The thing is, but g6 is slow. Okay, g6, I'll move, play rook d1. d5, I'll take on e5 probably. The thing is that f5 is a genius move, but were you suggesting this move there? It's a genius move, and yes, also including seeing that the knight is there. If pawn take, remember the rook on e1 is not defended. Okay. If knight take, G6, or maybe just, yeah, maybe G6. I think this is just simple one, because if take here, yeah, this is just simple one to win. I mean, it's at least winning, minimum winning a pawn, probably more. So amazing how, and you know, this is a 2650. This is a really strong grandmaster playing with black, like a really strong grandmaster. Personal second to the world champion. Didn't see that. Yes. So what to play here? Knight take f5, take on d4 is winning. Knight f1, just take. Okay, black is up a pawn, and big central pawn. Pretty winning for black. Bishop take g5. The book says a very sad move, but it's the best available. Take, and here we can actually connect the attack with idea of f3 in some variations. Okay, he gives d5 as a possibility, or capturing. And black is just much better. How can we come to it thinking about f5? It's a big move, not an easy one. Once, I think it's a very difficult move, because you suddenly see, oh, hey, knight on g3, pawn on e4, how can I play that? It's only that part of looking at all the pieces on the board, what's defended, what's not, what can be under attack, what can be pinned. The knight on f5 will be pinned. The rook on e1 is not defended. That allows this move. Let's see if computer can find any decent defense here. No, you see? For computer it's very easy. f5 immediately 0-7 advantage for black. It thinks 0-8. But for humans, it takes a lot of work to figure it out. Once again, only way that I see, exactly like Jacob Agard mentioned in this book, we put in our head the rook on e1 not defended, the queen is going to be pinned. Well, something might be happening there. That is really the only way. So we have seen 4 examples. First and second one I think were very similar. How are we going to make one piece dramatically better? Kramnik's bishop on b2, Unishuk knight on a5. The third example was a very important exchange that either helps us fix the pawn structure, strategically changing the position, or using the queen before idea, and then Julian's repeatedly queen takes rook, winning the game. The fourth one is a bit of a different character, actually. It is a tactical idea, not improving a piece. It's a tactical idea using the fact that the opponent pieces are undefended. At least the rook on e1 and the queen can come under a pin. All right, we'll have to find some interesting, thank goodness there are endless amount of topics for our next strategical class.